Hello everyone, in this video I'll be reviewing the best console mods in Baldur's Gate 3's Patch 7 Mod Manager. We got 20 mods here and a few honorable mentions, so I want to touch on all of these because there's a ton of great mods now. We got 112 mods in the Mod Manager, and I'll be covering the 20 of my favorite mods that we have here. Starting off first with Mistress spells. I'll just quickly go through all of them and then go into a bit better detail and review them, but this adds 126 new spells to the game. It's incredible, so if you are a fan of playing wizards or sorcerers, you got a lot of new toys to play around with. It also adds new cleric, druid, and bard spells. There's a full list here. There's a ton of them, so you can go check out the mod.io page. This is made by Random Killa, and it's pretty much an adaptation of 5th edition spells. But as you can see, there's a ton of really cool ones. We got Conjure Fey level 6 spells. Some of the ones that people really like: Booming Blade, Green Flame Blade. We got Frost Fingers. There's a ton of cool mods, or a ton of cool spells in this mod. I absolutely love it. Now we also got the Blood Sorcerer. This is my favorite subclass mod. We got the Dread Overlord, which I guess tied for my second favorite. This one's incredible, allowing you to summon in a big bone dragon, giant skeletons, skeletal warlocks. You can solo the game with this. It's a lot of fun, and it comes with its own unique quests. We also got the Mind Weaver, which got 4 cool subclasses. I've done build guides for all of them. It's unique. It's kind of like a Jedi, I guess. A lot of people have been saying that, and I agree. You got cool different subclasses. One of them can wear heavy armor, and yeah, I'll go into that in a bit further detail. We have the Horizon Walker Ranger subclass, which I think is really cool, allowing you to zip around the battlefield and attack. We also got the Mystic, which was one of the first mods released. This one is incredible with 63 different psionic disciplines, 9 subclasses if you grab the Mystic Extended mod. This one's incredible. We also got the Witch subclass, which is very nice, and it gets updates very frequently. You can see we got updates 1 hour ago with almost 300,000 downloads. Nudo123 did an incredible job with the Witch class. I'm a huge fan. It was with the facial animations mod. I love this because if you just look at your character, they change their facial animations around a little bit, so you can see that their eyes move, their eyebrows move, the eyes are moving there, lips will move. There's got a lot going on in this mod. I think it's just nice for a little bit extra flair. So we also have the adjustable party limit mod here, which is very popular because if you want to be able to bring all your crew around with you, you can with this, up to 16 characters, so you can even bring some hirelings along. It does make the game a little bit easier, but the creator is working on a tactician enhanced mod, which will be coming soon. What's nice about this mod is, yeah, it adds the ability to hear all the different dialogue options that you'll get with your characters. It's great for role-playing. I think this one's awesome. We also have the Cheater's Ring, which is super cool, updated 3 minutes ago, so some of these mods are getting really quick updates. What's nice about this is you can basically do whatever you want with it, add 20 to your dice rolls, plus 500 damage, etc. You can also summon in chests full of armor, so you can start the game off basically doing New Game Plus by giving yourself all the armor that you want for your builds. This is really cool, and yeah, very fun. We also have Esther's Brilliant Acquisitions here, which gives Esther the ability, which you can encounter in Act 1. Ton of items. This even has some cheat items like the Diva Mace, which is normally a bit of a glitch you have to use to get it, which is a 48 of radiant damage. Super cool. We also have the All Camp Clothes and Dyes mod. So I like this one by Catlix here. So this basically at the start of the game, you get all the clothing options so you can wear the camp clothing. So if you want to walk around with the elegant robe and not have to wait till Act 3, go right ahead. You can do it from the start of the game. I think that's incredible, especially for people that have played through the game multiple times and don't want to wear just the normal old robes that the character wears when you first get it. We also have the Hair Unlocked mod, which that's what I'm using on my character here. I do have another mod on, so this has the Mistress hair, and then I just added a bit of bangs there. So you can get really creative and make your own unique hairstyles with this. I think this is awesome, and I hope the Bangs Everywhere mod comes soon because it's incredible. We also have Fear Taylor's Camp Clothing, which is awesome because this allows you to wear certain things that are hard to find. Like you can see here, these are some of the most popular ones to wear. I have it on my character here. They're fully dyeable too, so you can give yourselves really cool looking appearances with this mod. And there's the ball outfit there. A lot of people really like. So it's got all that and more. We also have the Wings Unlocked mod, which you saw there on my character in Shadowheart. So this adds a bunch of different wings, and you can even give tiefling wings, which will match the color of your tiefling. Pretty cool. And this one's just recently updated as well, made by Chuloco. We also got the Baldur colors. This one was one of the first mods in the mod manager. That doesn't mean it's not a bad mod, because what's incredible with this is it has over 80 different dyes that you can change the appearance of your character with, and they're really good colors. I gotta admit, the colorways in this are fantastic. More are being added. We haven't had an update in 10 days, but they've been adding a bunch to it. So yeah, TechRoot made this one here. We also have Kay's hair extension, or Kay's hair design. What's nice about this is you get a bunch of different hair designs that aren't in the base game. So incredible. I think this one's awesome, made by Persendipity. We also got ourselves the Vampire Origin. Now, there is a bit of a glitch for some people. Not everyone's getting affected with this, but when you select this, it actually ends up making Astarion's name as not found for some reason. But not everyone's affected by this. Like you can see here, Astarion's got his name normally for me. So it is typically on console, and I've been seeing it's mostly on PlayStation 5 over Xbox. But yeah, I know a lot of people have been affected with this mod. So yeah, that is one thing to keep in mind. We also have the polyamory fix here, which is popular for a lot of people that want to be able to romance multiple characters and not have to worry about it. So yeah, they'll all have the hard eyes for you there. There is some glitches that can happen and bugs that can happen with this. You may get some disapprovals at the time because it's very hard to be able to code all of this together, but pretty cool. We also have Kay's hair extensions. What I like about this is you can add a bunch of different stuff to your characters to get really creative with how they look. If you want to Gith Hatsune Miku, you can make this happen. What's awesome about this and the Bangs Everywhere mod, which isn't on console yet, but I hope soon, is that you can like take any of the base game hair models and literally turn them into Tav's Hair Salon, which won't be coming to consoles. So, hey, we got Tav's Hair Salon at home. You can do it ourselves. And lots of creativity, as I mentioned. So, yeah, I think that the hair mods are great. And then an honorable mention here with Akelka's Crazy Colors mods. This basically gives you a bunch of different options for hairs and horn colors. Yeah, horn color, horn tip colors. You can change it to whatever you want. New lip tints, new eye makeup colors. And that's exactly what I use on my character here. So you can see the light blue colors here. Typically aren't colors that you can normally use. But yeah, lots of great creative freedom here. So I guess the first thing we'll start off on is going through some of the class mods, because I think that they're incredibly well done. So my favorite being I really like the Blood Sorcerer, because what's nice about this is it adds a bunch of unique spells to the game that you can use on your other classes. It's a high risk, high reward class. I did do a build guide on it, so you can check that out if you're curious. But it's a lot of fun. So the Blood Sorcerer, basically you get different spells here that deal necrotic damage. You're also able to ignore resistances and immunities to necrotic damage, which is the biggest downside of necrotic damage, is everything and their dog resists necrotic. However, with this class, that's no longer an issue. We also get the Grim Harvest here, which will give you 2 times the spell level back whenever you take on an enemy, and 3 times if it's a necromancy spell, which most of these are necromancy spells, so that's really nice. At level 6, that's 18 health back. Circle of Death can give you 18 health and hit in a huge area of effect, which is really nice. And then we also have the Hemomancy, which gives advantage on attack rolls when bleeding. Later on, you also get the ability to add your Charisma modifier to any blood-related spells. You can also get the Sanguine Feast, which will, in an area of effect, heal you and give you back half the health. So it's like Vampiric Touch, but much better. And then there's also like your classic, they got Scorch and Ray, but necrotic. And then there's Fireball, but necrotic. And what's cool about those is they actually will hurt you if you're not bleeding. So you want to actually use the cantrip here, Blood Sacrifice. You bleed yourself, and then you can also bleed a target. And this creates pools of blood. Now, my favorite spell for this actually will bind and restrain targets that are in blood pools in a huge area of effect. So you can bleed yourself, move away, have a target go into that, and then have a bunch of targets move around in their blood, and then hold them in the spot. It's super fun to play around with. High risk, high reward, as I mentioned, but I think this is a really incredible mod, so I just wanted to touch on this in a little bit of detail. I did post a build for it yesterday, so you can check that out on my channel if you're curious on going a little bit in depth on that. And it also is pretty cool. I was able to pretty much solo the entire group of guards outside of Baldur's Gate City. It was tough. We almost went down, but this class really is really powerful. So yeah, Blood Sorcerer, incredible. I also want to talk about the Dread Overlord Warlock, because this one comes with a bunch of unique spells as well. I've done a level 20 build on this. This gets a really nice effect at level 14 where you can summon in a dragon, which will go and attack and turn anything that it attacks into zombies when it takes it out. You also get the Necrotic Armaments here, which gives you additional necrotic damage and immunity to necrotic damage. The Reclaim Undead. So basically you want to be summoning in as many zombies as you can, and you use minion points to be able to summon in your stronger summons. And then with the weaker ones, like let's say you can use necrotic spells and they'll raise zombies whenever you do like Circle of Death. You can take out a bunch of enemies. It brings in its own zombies. You can use Reclaim Undead to give yourself back minion points, so you can keep killing them. You can also use the Shield of Souls to increase your armor class by 1 for each one of them, so you can basically become invincible And then the create crawling claws, which is another cool mechanic of this. You can summon in these little crawling claws, and you can summon up to like 16 or 18 of them. It's incredible. So you also get a bunch of different effects, like you get additional bonus points to Arcana and History. This comes with a bunch of different summons too. So with the Dread Overlord, you can actually summon in, so there's a wisp which can summon in like the druid grasping vine spell, but that will also cause the targets to become frightened. And then you can also summon in a warlock, a zombie warlock. So that's pretty cool. You can summon in a giant skeleton. You get the create undead spell, which is a level 6 spell for free. And with that, you can also summon in a mummy, which can frighten targets, and then it can go in and hit them. On top of all that, you can summon in your normal zombies. You can summon in the crawling claws. You can literally have like 40 or 50 summons with this. It's actually crazy. And then again, at level 14, you get the giant undead zombie, which is super useful and fun to play around with. So I highly recommend the Dread Overlord. It's in my opinion, this is probably the coolest necromancer class that I've ever played in a game. I think this was very, very well done. It goes way further than the Spore Druid and the Necromancy Wizard in the base game. Highly recommend this one. It's very, very well done. I guess an honorable mention, the Wizard does get the Spellblade, which is a cool one. Not my absolute favorite, but it is fun to be able to play a Wizard that can attack and do cantrips. But hopefully, this is a little sneak peek. I think that the Oath of Conquest Paladin will likely be coming soon, as well as the Circle of Stars Druid. That's not the point of this video, but just want to touch on that because I know a lot of people are asking. As well, the Artificer mod may also be coming soon in a couple weeks' time, I'm hoping. I know a lot of people are really excited for that one, so I just wanted to touch on it. The Blood Mage is another one that's on console right now. I'm not the biggest fan of it. The Blood Sorcerer does everything that I wanted in this class, but better. I actually find this is not as strong as the base 12 game, or base 12 classes that come in this game. So, yeah, that is one thing. Now, the Mystic, I'm not going to spend too much time on this because this is a whole topic. I do have a video of explaining the Mystic class, but what's cool about it is it focuses mostly on Psychic. You get cantrips that can push or pull creatures. You can get cantrips that choose whatever damage type you want to deal. If you want to do ice or lightning damage, you also have cantrips that can knock creatures prone. So very powerful for just cantrips, but look at all these psionic disciplines. So there's 63 of them, with some being extremely, extremely useful. Like this does 88 of psychic damage. If you have the Resonance Stone, that's 128 damage. And then Psychic Crush, which can stun creatures in a huge area, which means they take no turn next turn. The Soul Reaper is really powerful, which basically will regenerate your psi points. So you can use this going around 13d4 of necrotic damage. Get back your psi points with this. I also really like the Psionic Weapon, adding a bit of extra damage. And you also have the Psionic Skirmishing, which will give you the ability to take an extra attack. So you can see here, Psionic Alacrity, gain the effects of an extra attack. This also will stack because there is a subclass, the Order of the Blade, which gives you an extra attack at level 6. So you can literally, at level 6, get 3 attacks. Yes, the Mystic is OP, but boy, is it ever fun. I also like that it uses the Psionic, gives you psi points here instead of using spell slots. So if you're someone that later in the game doesn't like just casting level 1 magic missiles, you can literally just upcast your strongest spells, and also a lot of the earlier spells do upcast as well. So it's a whole lot of fun. There's also some other cool psionic disciplines I'll just touch on briefly here that I think are very, very useful. So the Nomadic Kinship gives you some animals that you can summon in, which is really nice, so you can get a little bit extra aggro pulling from the enemies. I also really like the Mastery of Time because you can take acceleration zones. So instead of just doing haste, which applies for 10 turns, and can apply lethargic if you get your concentration broken on it, the acceleration zones make an area that you can haste targets in. So you can put down a haste zone for your team, have everyone get an extra bonus action, and they don't get hit with lethargy. So you can literally just keep spamming double attacks. This lasts for 10 turns. You can have your concentration broke, but this class is pretty strong, so it likely isn't going to get its concentration broken. Then there's also this Mastery of Stars if you want to go radiant damage. I think that's fun. I'm a big fan of ice. Ice Barrier, 10d6 cold plus 10d6 cold. It's basically a wall of ice, but a little bit different. You can create, yeah, lots of different effects with this build. I think this is really fun. But yeah, 63 psionic disciplines, 9 subclasses, and they all are kind of like their own unique versions of classes. The Unbound is like the wild magic sorcerer. The Order of the Blade is like any type of martial class, like a fighter. Order Ascetic is like a monk. It gives you psychic or force damage for your punch attacks. We also have the Order of the Wu-Gen, which gives you the ability to do wizard spells. So this can get spell slots, and you convert your psi points into spells. The Order of the Soul Knife is kind of kind of like I guess a rogue. You get soul knives. You can throw them too. I did a throwing build with this. It's very fun. Order of the Nomad. These are all like your mystic spellcasters, so like a wizard kind of deal. But yeah, 9 subclasses. Mystic is incredible. We also have the Witch here, which is a very fun class. I'll just briefly show it off. Coming with the Witch Form Cat and Arcane Blade, which allows you to add... It's basically like Shillelagh for a sword, which does slashing damage using your spellcasting ability. This has 4 unique subclasses, so I just want to touch on it. Now, one thing for everyone that's playing on console, if you're having issues with selecting this class, you do have to assign your bonus points and your skill proficiencies. So on controller, this would be as simple as... I'll just switch over to the controller UI here. So whenever you're going to select the class, you just go continue, select your spell, select your spells, make sure that you got this here. Make sure you see the green dots. So this will actually default to just strength, and it'll actually not give you the ability score bonuses. So you do have to make sure that that is set correctly. So that is how you can continue on that. I keep getting questions on it. I did a video covering it, but yeah, that is the way to do it. So with this class, we also have the... I'll just switch back to the computer UI here. We get 4 subclasses, which is incredible. Now, my favorite of these is the Frost Witch. As you know, I love ice builds, and this one's very powerful. You get all the ice spells. You gain resistance to cold damage. You get additional damage on your cold spells. Runner-up for my favorite is the Witchblade, though. This is awesome because you can add lightning damage, you can add fire damage, and you can add force damage to your weapon attacks, and you get an extra attack. It's a nice Gish style build where you can spellcast and attack at the same time. Hex Witch being a debuffer, the Herbalist being a poison damage spell, and it just got an update to make this even more powerful. So I'm a huge fan of the Witch. I think this is an incredible class, so I just wanted to touch on that. I'll also give some love to the Ranger here. The Ranger gets its own unique spell, or its own unique subclass with the Horizon Walker. So I have 2 different versions of it here. There's a Nexus mod version, which I don't actually like as much as the console version, which gives you distance strike, so you can teleport around attacking targets, and you can also teleport in ranged attack. It also gives you the ability to do a Hunter's Mark that does force damage. In addition to this, you do get the ability to... you get a lot of damage with this. And also with the new spell mods, you can do a lot of cool things with this class, so I really highly recommend going with this. You get your extra attacks, you get your Misty Steps. You can see here we have like Enwebbing Strike, we got Sudden Awakening, different spell mods, Mistress spells being a really powerful one. Give you a ton of different spells that you can affect your abilities with. And then at level, I guess at the next level here, we do get some extra benefits, so I'll show this off just because I think this is really cool. Basically, the premise of this one is you want to blink around, you got your Blink spell here, which you can turn invisible, go to the astral plane, and hide from enemies with that. But the biggest focus of this class is you want to use your extra attacks as much as possible. So the teleporting attack, what happens with that is it actually can trigger 3 attacks. So you can do 3 attacks with this class, and it also gets haste. Hard to go wrong when your class gets haste, honestly, because that just allows you to really buff yourself up. You also get the hide in plain sight there. Very powerful class. I think the Horizon Walker Ranger is my new favorite. I used to really like the Gloomstalker, but this one is that plus a whole lot more. So just want to touch on that, and then I'll also briefly touch on the Mindweaver here, which is a very popular one. I really like the Mindweaver as well. This is probably Mystic or the Mindweaver are my 2 favorites here. What's cool about the Mindweaver is you got 4 subclasses. They all have their own unique style to them. So with the Psionic Warden, this is mostly focused on doing... Basically, you would do weapon damage, and the weapon damage is psychic. So if you have the Resonance Stone, double damage. Most things are not resistant to psychic damage, only Mind Flayers are, so... that is nice. You also get a bunch of abilities to cast spells after you attack. So if you're going for like a sword and shield, sword and board, go for this one. It's fun. The Force Blade, however, this is all about, it gives you Force Blast here, but what's nice about the Force Blade is you get heavy armor proficiencies and you get martial weapons. So this is also a class that gets 3 attacks, similar to a fighter. It's basically like the Battlemaster fighter, but with some psionic abilities. Mostly force damage focused instead of psychic, which the other 3 focus on. Force in the name, pretty cool. Astral Seer, my favorite. This is basically like the wild magic sorcerer. It can deal damage in an area around you, but you get a lot of cold and psychic damage spells. I love cold spells, that I mentioned twice in this video. It also has the ability to do like a magic missile that's pure cold damage, which is super cool. I love anytime classes get unique spells, and this one has a ton of unique spells. Each subclass does have their own unique spells, which I think is awesome. Finally, we got the Void Reaver, which is about dual wielding. So you get 2 long swords, and you can do a bit of extra effects with these. So whenever you take out your long swords, you can apply the finesse property to them. So you can run with 2 of them. You also get the ability to dual wield, and you add your ability modifier to the damage of the offhand blade. So what's nice with the Void Reaver is you do an attack, an offhand attack, which does the same amount of damage as your main hand, provided they're the same weapon type. And then on top of that, if you do an attack with both hands, you also get the ability to cast a cantrip. This is a really cool mod. I love this one. Very fun. So just want to touch on that. That is that for our spell and our class mods. Mistress spells is too deep to get into, but it's got a lot of options. Now, cosmetic mods. There's a lot of really cool cosmetic mods that I want to touch on here briefly, because I know a lot of people really care about the cosmetic ones. So we'll get into, I guess, the face and hair one. So this is one that's in the console mod manager, so you can go with that if you looking for a new face mod. Seraphina and the other ones are pretty nice, so you can go with that. We also got the hair extensions mod here, which gives you extra hair extensions. So if you want to add a bunch of stuff to your character, go right ahead. You can literally do whatever you want with this. It's really, really nice. So lots of options there. You can get creative with it. Eventually, we'll hopefully see the Bangs Bangs Everywhere mod, which is what I'm using right now to be able to give this character a little extra appearance here, because I think it's nice to be able to give, like, add Shadowheart's fringe there, or add the long fringe to the side, and Minthara's fringe. You got lots of options with this mod, which makes it fun. I think that this one is incredible, so I really like that. We'll go with that there. Also, we got some different hair mods, which I think work really well. So the ability to give yourself, like, any character's hair. I think this is pretty cool. So you can go with, like, the Umberlee's hair. You can go with Orin's hair. Really, really nice to get all those options there. And then Kay's hair mod as well, giving you a bunch of options here. So pretty cool. I think this is nice. So you get a lot of fun options here. And then also a bunch of different hair color options too, which is cool. So you can see here, if you really want to go with some really intense, different looking hair, you get all the choices here. So very nice. There's also the ability to add all these colors to different horns. So if you want a character with horns, look at that. That's a lot of options for different choices there. I think that's incredible. So that's from the Crazy Colors Pack mod. And then I also touched on Kay's hair mod. So yeah, that is a really fun mod to go over. Just giving yourself infinite creativity when it comes to being able to create whatever character you want to look like. So Faerun colors, just briefly touch on that. Ignore Master Chief, Bloodborne, and Ciri with a gun here. But lots of cool choices, and then there's more ones getting added all the time. So if you really want to see something different, just keep checking the mod. There's some really nice appearance mods here. So also, I want to touch on Fear Taylor's camp clothing, which has a lot of really cool ones. So, got the Merkil clothing here. I know that there's some ones that are very popular. So, this one in particular, a lot of people really like. We also got the, this is more of like a knight one. So, yeah, they got some cool options there. And this is all camp clothing, so you can literally go here and apply it as a camp clothing option, so you can wear these wherever you want, from whenever, at the start of the game or at the end of the game. You got all that freedom and creativity. So I think that's a really nice mod. Cheater's Ring as well, briefly touch on the ability to summon in all this stuff. You can summon in the tutorial chest, which a lot of mods will put their stuff in the tutorial chest. Just be reminded, go into turn-based before you apply this, or else it will cause some issues. You got all the clothing, all the armor. You can give yourself extra Mind Flare, Parasites. You can give yourself a whole lot of stuff. So this one's super cool, and it can also be updated if you got the update. Not everyone's been getting the update. I was told that there was an update, but you can see that, yeah, you can use this to update the mod itself. So very nice. But yeah, those are some of the best mods in Baldur's Gate 3's mod manager. So there's 20 of them here. Let me know your favorite mod so far in the comments below. I think there's a lot of really great ones. So my favorite probably being the Dread Overlord, the Blood Sorcerer, and the Mystic. I'm a fan of new classes. I always post new builds, so you can check those out on my channel. Let me know, again, your favorite. Hit that subscribe button below if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.